thank you for joining us today on this wonderful occasion. Can't tell you how thrilled we are for this day to arrive. The town was first required to begin testing for PFAS in April 2021. Although we had anticipated that we may have an issue in our well field at the Vinebrook treatment plant, we did not expect to find PFAS here at our surface water treatment plant at the Mill Pond. We immediately got to work on designing the solution with a $500,000 allocation from the Select Board through the town's ARPA fund allotment. Less than 4 months later, we brought the fully designed project to town meeting and received unanimous support for the $15 million initiative. From that point on, the town and its team worked diligently on the construction phase of the project, and although we were hampered with some rainy weather and some significant supply chain delays, the filters were in place this past July, and we were able to declare our water supply PFAS-free on August 2nd. I wanted to reiterate the timeline because, in my view, this has to be one of the quickest projects ever undertaken by the town of Burlington. The town jumped into action immediately, and here we are, less than 2.5 years later. This facility is up and running, providing clean drinking water for our residents. I am aware that there are many communities that were notified of a PFAS problem in April 2021 that have still not yet designed or funded a solution to their problem. We could not have done this at record speed without a great deal of effort and support from many. To that end, I wish to express my gratitude to the following groups and individuals for their support in making this project a reality. To the Select Board for their overall support in approving the funding for the design through ARPA. This allowed us to jumpstart this project much quicker than we would have able to do otherwise. To our land use and permitting boards, the Planning Board, Conservation Commission, and the Board of Health for fast-tracking the project and working collaboratively with us to solve any issues along the way. To our financial boards and committees, the Ways and Means Committee and the Capital Budget Committee for their support in vetting the project and supporting us through town meeting. Of course, a thank you to Burlington Town Meeting for their overwhelming and quick support for the funding of this project. To our legislative team, Senator Sidney Friedman and Representative Ken Gordon, with their support, we were able to access some very favorable loan programs through the Massachusetts Clean Water Trust to finance this project. To our former Public Works Director, John Sanchez, and current DPW Director, Brian White, for delivering this project at record speed and on budget. Brian will be up to say a few words about that later on. And last but not least, this project received a significant boost from our partners in the federal government with a $1 million grant through the Community Project Funding Program, which was secured by our Congressman Seth Moulton. Over the past several years that I've been in this position, Congressman Moulton's office has been amazing to work with. They're in constant contact with us to find ways to help us with any issues that we're having in town. And I am very grateful for all of their efforts to assist the town, and I look forward to our continued partnership in the future. With that said, we are extremely fortunate to have the Congressman himself here for this event. So without further ado, I welcome Congressman Seth Moulton.
Well, thank you very much, and to everyone here, congratulations. Those of you who might be watching on TV later, I can't describe to you how hot it is right now, so I'm going to be brief with my remarks so that we can all get back to the air conditioning. But this really is a remarkable project that you've accomplished in record time, and that means savings for the people of Burlington, for the taxpayer. Too often these projects, these big infrastructure projects, are long delayed and way over budget, and you made it happen. As you said, there are a lot of towns and cities across America that now know they have a major problem with PFAS. There are very few, a very short list of towns that have taken action and have solved the problem for their citizens today. So you have a lot to be proud of. And it absolutely was a team effort with our state delegation. Ken, you're always there to get things done, and you're someone who is not afraid to knock on my door either to get our help. So I'm always glad to partner with you. The town of Burlington obviously stepped up in a huge way at the local level, and I'm proud that my team was able to help at the federal level some dollars to get this done quickly. I sit on the House Armed Services Committee as well in Washington, and PFAS is an issue for our troops, for our firefighters. Just a few years ago, people dismissed it. In fact, it was really a partisan issue then. It was just Democrats who said we have to do something about this. I'll tell you, in this very divided time in politics, it's become a totally bipartisan issue. And there were numerous PFAS provisions that we passed in a bipartisan manner in this year's defense bill. So you're leading the way in an important way, not only just for your citizens, for the people of Burlington, but as a model for the rest of Massachusetts and even for the nation. So congratulations, and I'm proud to have contributed to this effort.
Thank you very much, Congressman. And next, I'd like to invite our Representative Ken Gordon to say a few words.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you for the opportunity to share a few words. I'm honored to be with the town leaders from Burlington, and I'm happy to be here, although I will admit I'm just a little bit jealous of the people watching from home who are out of this heat at the moment. But this is a great and important opportunity to share our thoughts, and that is this. As you heard, this project was not only one that other municipalities have looked at and not taken action on yet, but it is also, I think, one of, if not the most efficiently run project across the Commonwealth of Massachusetts with respect to infrastructure recently. Town officials got together and did the work that needed to be done, reached out to us on the state level, reached out to the federal level, got all of our partners together. The business community was involved and provided funding for some of the studies that needed to be done. It was all hands on deck, and it was a success. I want a special shout out to John Sanchez, our former DPW director, because so often I called John to get information, to get progress, and he was always available. All hours of the day with information which our residents need. Another shout out to BCAT, because BCAT kept our residents informed, did stories from the work sites. Between this project and the MWA project that we're going to talk more about tomorrow, we were able to address our water needs in this town in, as I said, an efficient and in a speedy way. Congressman Moulton, thank you again for always being there when we need you on this and other issues, being accessible, available, and also offering ideas so that when we come to you with an issue, sometimes you'll ask us questions or raise ideas that will make our solution even more efficient. There you are. Thank you very much. Again, congratulations to the town of Burlington, and I look forward to continuing to work together.
Thank you very much, Representative Gordon, for everything you do for our community. Next up, our new DPW Director, Brian White, has a few words that he would like to say.
Good evening. So I get to enjoy the fruits of a lot of people's labor coming in at the end of this project. So I just want to point out there was a lot of people that went into this project that put a lot of effort in. That I agree with Paul that a project of this size and scope, spanning two and a half years, is real fast, and a lot of people deserve credit for that, especially throughout the supply chain disruptions that we still felt from COVID. So some of the parties that deserve a lot of credit, I want to thank Eric Worrell and Amy LaPusada and their staff at Mass DEP for working with us through this complex piloting program, design, and assisting throughout the permitting process for this construction project. It goes without saying, everyone mentioned that Paul mentioned, we greatly appreciate all their contributions and efforts from DPW, the select board, all the committees, the administration, Paul Sagarino, John Denizio. Without all their assistance, all your assistance, we wouldn't have been able to make this happen as quickly as we did. The residents of Burlington for their patience over these years as we work towards resolving the PFAS levels in the water supply, and them having to make certain drinking water accommodations during this time. John Sanchez, my predecessor, he managed 99% of this project, so he deserves all the credit for this. Typically, projects of this nature are bid out with as one contract, one large contract, one general contractor. But because of the importance of this project to get it expedited, John had the idea to break it up into several small contracts to expedite it. So I think he deserves a lot of credit for the approach that he took in regards to that. Our engineering consultants, Wright Pierce, led by Amy Coppers and Rob Williamson. Given the nature of the project, it involved a lot of piloting study reports, permitting and compliance correspondence, as well as extensive construction administration. Additionally, our Buildings and Cemeteries Division, led by our Superintendent Frank Anderson, which provided a great amount of effort and construction administration throughout the entire project. Our contractor, Waterline Industries, understanding the significance of this project, they were very accommodating as changes came up during the construction, including accommodating the other small contractors and contracts that we had to expedite the project schedule. So we thank them very much for that. Our water treatment plant staff, led by our treatment plant manager, Russ Mackey, with all the contaminant testing and reporting, increased focus on ensuring adequate water supply and fielding calls over concerns about drinking water quality. To add to the stress and difficulty, our other water treatment facility was producing at reduced capacity, making it more difficult to schedule the work that was needed to be done here. Rachel Leonardo, who handled and managed our water conservation program during the shortage, and our bottled water rebate program to offset some of the PFAS levels. Our staff that was tasked with answering all the phone calls and public communications related to water quality, watering restrictions and construction. I've been on both sides, construction side of things and the public communications side, and I know that can be just as stressful as any part of the project. So I apologize if I left anyone off this list, but on behalf of Public Works, I sincerely want to thank everyone who contributed to this project.
Ready? Everyone say cheese. Cheese. Or AC.
Yeah, see.
All right, cut it. Yay!